I'm sure everybody watching this video knows what my favorite movie is at this point. So why don't we talk about it? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Minor, and when I'm not out buying Halloween masks so I can modify them to look like the shape of evil, I'm right here on YouTube reviewing movies. Yes, that intro was inspired by Dr. Wolfula. And today we will be looking at my all-time favorite movie, Halloween 1978. But real quick, I just want to bring up that because of what happened during the How the Grinch Stole Christmas review, we're not going to be reviewing this the same way we normally do. But instead, the way we're going to be reviewing this one is actually inspired off of another YouTuber called The Night Shift. The way how he did it was he doesn't do a full summary of the movie. He just talks about what's good, what's bad, his favorite scene, rank it on a scale of 1 to 10, and that's it. No summary, no wasting time, no none of that. I'm going to do something similar, but also doing my own thing, you know what I mean? I am going to talk about the good and the bad, but I'm also going to talk about what really isn't either. It's just kind of in the middle, you know what I mean? I'm then going to give 3 rewards at the end of this video, so watch till the end. You do not want to miss that. And then I'm going to rank it on a scale of 1 to 10, and then we'll just end the video there. This should be a lot of fun. Also, for each section, we will be leaving the appropriate symbol up there in the top corner, so if you ever get confused on what section we're on, that's how you'll know. But yeah, I'm done wasting time. Let's go on to the positives, starting with the intro segment. Right when you start the movie, it gets awesome. Start the movie by seeing this weird pumpkin right here with the Halloween logo. It also has all the credits of the movie as well as the iconic Halloween score. The next positive on this list is the origin story of Michael Myers. The movie starts with him as a 6-year-old kid watching his older sister and her boyfriend go upstairs. Michael then proceeds to sneak around back to go to the kitchen to pick up a large kitchen knife. He sees the boyfriend leave and then goes upstairs to, I think you know. The parents come back to witness his crime, and then he is locked up for 15 years. And that is literally the entire origin. And I mean, chef's kiss. That is just freaking phenomenal. We don't get much of an origin story. We just get the story that this kid just did this because he wanted to. And I happen to think it's scarier with a character who has like no personality like Michael Myers and they don't have an origin story. Like, I happen to find that scarier. You know what I mean? And a lot of the other sequels tend to like give him a motive or give him some sort of origin. And that's one of the reasons why they really don't work for me. But we can talk about the sequels in their own separate videos. Up next is Michael Myers himself. As Dr. Loomis puts it, he is a blank, pale, emotionless face with the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. Last time I did an impression like that, I sounded like freaking Gollum.
The blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
Would you say I've gotten better or worse? Let me know in the comments. And when Michael did that to his sister, he didn't have any reaction. He was just completely blank. There was no emotion in his face. And apparently he's been kept in like a catatonic state for his entire stay at Smith's Grove. People tried to get him to move or speak or anything, but it was to no avail. Dr. Loomis was sure that he was the embodiment of evil, but we can talk about Loomis in a minute. He was going to be taken to court at the age of 21 so he can be tried as an adult. But when he was 21, he broke out and left for Haddonfield. And then he started stalking babysitters, and honestly, this is freaking awesome. And you know we can't talk about Michael Myers without talking about his costume. I'm sure everybody and their grandma knows that the mask that Michael Myers wears was originally a 1975 William Shatner Captain Kirk mask from Star Trek. The budget was just barely $300,000, which honestly, it's not really high enough to go and, make a mask from scratch. So Tommy Lee Wallace was sent to go find a ready-made mask they would then modify for the shape. They chose the Captain Kirk mask due to its very blank and emotionless face. I'm thinking about seeing if I can purchase one, but they go for a lot of money that I do not have. Let me know in the comments if you want to see me buy one and maybe do a review on it. They then, and I quote, tore off the eyebrows and sideburns, painted it at the time a fish belly white, which would then be changed into an appliance white, darkened the hair and then whitened the eye holes. And then what we were left with was the face of all evil. He would then run down a truck to steal a one-piece jumpsuit from a worker, and he would then go to steal a couple of knives, as well as some rope, but we don't really see what he uses that for. And I love the Michael Myers look. It's very simple, It's like the absence of a human, you know what I mean? Because he's not meant to be human. He's meant to be a flesh and blood version of the boogeyman. And that's what makes this mask so great. It has no recognizable features. You could just project your own imagination onto it. And frankly, I like that. Now, the next positive I have is the lighting. The lighting makes the mask look different depending on the angle, you know what I mean? Also, a lot of the shots are very dark, which honestly I think actually adds to the boogeyman character, because he's meant to be like lurking in the dark, you know, hiding in the shadows, playing with his food, you know what I mean? So yeah, I just wanted to talk about the lighting for a second. The next positive I have is the simplicity. He doesn't have much of a backstory. We don't know much about him, meaning we can pretty much say whatever. In some timelines, he's a part of a cult. In some timelines, he's just looking for his little sister. Some timelines, he's just an escaped mental patient. One that was even proposed by CZ's World was that after witnessing what, you know, Judith and her boyfriend was doing, he was trying to imitate it. I also heard some people say he wanted to recreate that thrill that he got that night. Frankly, that's the type of thing that I like. Like, when it doesn't have a backstory, you can kind of just make up anything and it could be its own timeline. Let me know what you guys think about that. The next positive is Laurie Strode. Laurie is by far the best final girl of all time and is the main protagonist of this movie. Unlike her friend Annie, she is very modest and isn't obsessed with getting a date to the prom or whatever. Jamie Lee Curtis did a good job playing her too, so yeah. And if you want my honest opinion, I think Laurie is by far my favorite final girl of all time. Our next positive is Dr. Loomis. He was played by Donald Pleasance, God rest his soul, and is by far probably at his best in this movie. Like, there are other movies that have a good Loomis, but I feel like that this has the best. And that scene where Lonnie was at the Myers house and Loomis like yells at him, that was kind of funny.
Hey Lonnie, get your away from there.
And I'd say probably his best scene is by far the Loomis speech scene.
I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face.
Honestly, that was just freaking awesome. Another positive that I have is the ending. Honestly, this ending, it has a special place in my heart. Now this one's kind of a controversial one, but the next positive I have is the unmasking scene towards the end of the movie. Here he's played by a man named Tony Moran. In my opinion, this is the only time where we should ever see his face. Apart from this, we can't see anything involving his face. Not even his eyes, H2O. And honestly, I just love how shocked he looks here. I mean, he's just all like, did you really just take my mask off? I know it's controversial, but I kinda like it, and this should be the only time we ever see his face. And the last positive that I have for this video is the iconic Halloween score. This score is just mind-blowing. It was produced by John Carpenter, who also was one of the co-creators of this movie. And it's literally just a piano. Be sure to comment your favorite Halloween score. Mine is probably Halloween 2018, but we can talk about that movie in another video. But with that, we are all out of positives. Let's move on to the neutral segment. Now, I only have one neutral here, and it's something that has been legitimately bothering me for a little while now. It's not that big of an issue, but how does Michael Myers know how to drive? Some people say that somebody gave him lessons, but honestly, I put this one in a neutral segment because it also kind of adds to the character, like being very mysterious. We don't know much about him, you know what I mean? And with the neutrals out of the way, let's move on to the negatives. And the first negative is nothing. This movie is basically perfect. Yeah, there are no negatives to this movie, so let's move on to the 3 awards. The first award goes to the best scene in the entire movie, and honestly, I gotta give it to the Loomis speech. Honestly, there's just something about that I love.
What was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
The next award goes to the best kill in the entire movie. I don't know about you guys, but I'm personally giving it to Bob's kill. I just genuinely love it, and I personally feel like all the other kills are kind of lackluster. Also, the way how he's just pinned up against the wall and Michael's just tilting his head looking at him, that is freaking metal. And the last award goes to the best line in the entire movie. Now, this one was a tricky one. I actually had 2 in mind. The first one being a line by Tommy, which was,
"You can't kill the boogeyman."
and the second one being Laurie's line, which was similar.
What's the boogeyman?
But I think I'm gonna give it to the latter one. I think it just works better for me.
What's the boogeyman?
As a matter of fact, it was.
So yeah, if I was to rate this movie on a scale of 1 to 10, I am giving Halloween 1978 a solid 10 out of 10. By far my favorite movie of all time. But yeah, I'd like to know how you guys would rate this movie, and let me know what you guys loved and didn't love about this movie. But with that, guys, thank you guys for taking a moment to come hang out with me. You guys know I appreciate you. Come back next week and I might have another movie review for you. You guys can leave any movie suggestions in the comments if you guys want to. Shout out to all the Patreon members. If you want to see your name on this list, go join the Patreon, link down below. But with that, guys, I'm all talked out. Thank you guys so much for watching. God bless every single one of you. You know I appreciate you, and we will see you in the next one. Peace out.